Hey y'all, another wonderful day in the neighborhood. Let's just have a quick conversation, Selby. Thanks for being here. If you're new here, my name is Really TT. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I am a single mother to two children, a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old, and my youngest one has been diagnosed with autism. If you're new here, leave me a comment, say hey, all the good stuff. All right, so I feel like when I even before I became a parent, I've learned early on from my mother, my father, that children come first. Your children come first. They're a priority. There are a lot of people who just don't think like me, and that's okay. A lot of people who were not raised like me, and that's okay. Was my childhood perfect? No. But really, whose childhood was? I feel like where I'm great in some aspects of my life, I lack in others, which is normal and typical. And I also feel like it's important to make sure that you are around a good solid group of people who you consider friends, in my honest opinion. I befriended someone, maybe it's been like a little bit, it's been about a year, right? Initially, it was cool. I met this person. They were just in a really going through a rough patch, still's going through a rough patch. And I feel like I've always given people grace because we all go through stuff, right? So, I met this person. They were like in a trauma crisis mode. I'm always meeting people who are in trauma crisis. Like, one thing I've learned about myself is that I'm a nurturer by I just am. However, I can no longer be that type of person because it's very exhausting. I don't have time for myself, and I wouldn't have time for my children if I continue to do that. Now, I do provide services to people, 9 to 5. However, in my life after work, no, I cannot be anyone's landfill. I need a well-balanced relationship. I can be friends with someone in different walks of life. However, I cannot be friends with someone who secretly just hates me but wants to be around me because of what I am able to do or because of the lifestyle that I have. With that being said, I'm going to talk about a situation. I feel like as a mother, there are different scenarios or relationships between father and children, but I feel like as a mother, there are just certain things that you, and as a father too, I'll put a father in there too. There are certain things you should or should not do. Now, I told y'all before, I don't have any immediate family out here. All my family lives lives outside of California. It's just me. I solely get support from daycare, and I have a really good relationship with my daycare provider and her family. I have a friend that I can call when I am in dire, desperate need, and then my parents when they come from out of town. And I've accepted that because I'm the one that decided to have my children. Okay, cool. Now, I felt maybe 3-4 months prior to this happening that there was a shift in the relationship, and I had kept saying I needed a break. Every time I would talk or have a conversation with this individual, it was always draining. I can maybe get a one word in every 35th word. I felt like it was not a response and, listen and respond type of conversation both ways. It was always one-sided and always a landfill. I became less productive after 5 because a lot of my time was consumed by this person calling and wanting to talk about things that they were going on in their life. I don't want to say, I'll say enough, but I don't want to try to assassinate this person's character like they try to assassinate mine. But, okay, cool, whatever. So, literally, I had a friend, my friend came over, we were talking, and she kept mentioning she wanted to go to an event. Okay, cool, whatever. She said that one of her siblings would not give her a definite answer if she wanted to watch one of her children for her. She said that her parents didn't want to because they had her child literally the weekend before, and I guess she came back too late to where it was just too late to leave. And she does some things that I consider as negligent, But also, she doesn't like the things that I do. She doesn't like that I like to pick up my children before the sun goes down and bring them home and give them dinner and into bed. She doesn't like that I have a schedule for my children. She doesn't like the fact that my kids eat certain things and they're picky. I don't make them. I'm not going to make my children eat something. My son, as you know, she has a special needs child as well, older child. So you should be able to be more understanding with that. She also feels that she has more experience parenting than me. Okay, do your thing. This is not a competition when it comes to parenthood. It's just not. I'm going to be all over the place with this, but just follow me. Okay, cool. So she said all that. She wanted to go to the event. So I said, okay. Now, at this point in time, we supported each other. Whereas with dinner, picking up the kids, or whatever, we were there. We were each other's village. Everything was cool. Okay. But like I said, a couple months prior to this happening, there was a shift. I noticed that she started being mean with her responses towards me. She was annoyed with me, or just talking to her over the phone, she was becoming more and more nasty. And I'm just thinking, why are you wanting to hang out with me if you feel a certain type of way about me? And the conversation sometimes kind of leaded to that, but I noticed she immediately shifted. She will always say how much she looked up to me because I got my master's program and because I have a great job. I got my master's degree in 2016. I don't even remember I had my master's degree. That's because it's been a long time, right? I've sat there and gave her pointers on what she can do to get through college. She didn't want to take those. It wasn't good enough. Okay, fine, whatever. Go ahead and do what you're doing. Okay, cool, because if it's working for you, it's working for you. Now, I have learned a couple of things from her. I'm not taking everything that I learned from her, but I've learned some things from her. Okay. Now, within the same token, I know that I have boundaries, and I had to start setting more and more boundaries about certain things. I don't like to keep my kids out late. It's too much. Why do they need to be out late like that? In stores, back and forth. That's her thing. She will make comments like, oh, I know you don't want your kids eating in the car, or I don't like my kids eating in my car. I just don't. Or, oh, I know you don't like to be out late. Or, oh, I know you're really good at getting home before the sun goes down. If it bothers you so much, why are you, just why? So I did agree to, I offered to watch her child for her so she can go to the event. And she was like, she was going to an event for some guy. Okay, cool. It's fun. I think it's great to date. It's really amazing to be able to date and get it. I understand and I know how that feels. Now, within the same token, your children come first. So I offered yes. And then she asked me 2 days after that and said, can you still watch my child? And I said, yes. I said, but I need you to pick your daughter up at 8 o'clock in the morning, by 8 o'clock in the morning, the next morning. She says, oh, no. That's too early. Then she asked me what time was I going to be home so she can drop her off to me. I said I'll be home by 5:30 p.m., which was the night before. When I told her 8 a.m. pickup, she said it was too early. I'm just thinking, like, most people don't even allow other people's kids to spend the night like that. They say pick them up after the event. I'm trying to help you out. Okay. So she's like, oh, she's like, I'm gonna ask my parents. Okay, fine. Okay. I offered. 8 a.m. is just it's not working for you. I don't know why, but okay. That's on you. So time went by, and it was just like the wedge was so thick to where I'm just like, I need a break, right? And that was another thing. I work full time. This was after a full day of me working, literally of me working. And literally this was after I was sick. Y'all know I was really, really sick. Like I got sick like 3 times. And at least twice out of those 3 times I got sick from her and her kid. Okay. So, and on top of that, I kept telling her literally like for like the past week, I was like, I have a really bad migraine. Like my head was just hurting so bad. And it was just like, I was just like, all this stuff that I'm going through and I'm still just trying to help you so you can have a good time. And you are so ungrateful. Like you are really, really, really ungrateful. So then she asked me literally that week, would I still be able to watch her daughter? And I said, yes, please make sure you pick her up at 8 a.m. Because for one, I'm going to explain myself. I don't care if I wanted to pick my nose at 8 o'clock in the morning. I had something to do, but please respect my time. She still says, that's still too early, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I just left it alone. So literally two days before the event, we talked. She don't say nothing about it. Day of the event, she kind of really don't mention it. She's on the phone with me about something else. I called her just to make sure at 12 something, because I talked to her early that morning for like 2 hours. Another long conversation, 2 hours. Called her and she was like, she didn't answer at 12 something. Called her at 1 something, because I guess she was looking for an outfit, trying to get situated and dressed. But my thing is that you should confirm with someone who offered, right? Because I didn't hear nothing else about the plans. So I'm like, okay, well, she's not answering. So at 4 o'clock, I called her again because I was picking up my kids. She didn't answer. Like 4:30, 4:45, she calls and she was like, where are you? And I was like, I'm pulling up to my house. She's like, no, you're supposed to go get my child. And I was like, what? I said, no, you asked me what time was I going to be home. I said, but you also said that 8 a.m. was too early for you to pick your daughter. And she's like, something else I got to do. Click. This girl hung up on me. Okay, cool. So I text her and I said, you know what? Because I'm not going to sleep this mind. I text her and I said, you know what? I apologize if I dropped the ball. I don't remember ever offering to pick her up. How can I pick her up? Y'all, I didn't have no car seat. Didn't have no clothes for the next day. And dinner was not discussed. And I never offered to say I was going to pick your daughter up. Because you asked me time was I going to be home. And I told you 5:30. So she responds back after I told her that. She said, it's fine. I'm getting dressed. That was on Friday. Monday, because we usually talk every day. Monday, I said, hey, how was the event? She responds back and says, it was great. I'm glad I have reliable family and friends as a backup plan. So you're digging at me, so I'm not going to respond. I'm just not going to respond. Because I felt like at that moment in time, I'm not going to do this. I'm almost 40 years old and I don't have time for this. I just don't have time. So I enjoyed my weekend and the rest of my week. Literally a week later on a Friday. This part is so, this is where it's called secondhand embarrassment. She reaches out to me via text and says, hey, when you're back in my area, I'd like to pick up my earring from you. And in my mind, I'm like, what earring is she talking about? What is she talking about? Y'all, she left the earring she dropped one of her beauty supply store earrings in my car. Thought that she left it. Thought she dropped it when I went out of my way to go pick her from the airport. That's another story within itself that I'm just like, whatever. And she was going through an emotional state. And at that time, she was going through it with one of her kids' fathers. Okay, whatever. And this is what she said. At that moment in time, when I picked her up from the airport, she told me, I know it's hard and rough on you for you and your beautiful children, but you should be thankful that you're not going through it through the court system like I am with my children's fathers. Sometimes when people say stuff to you, I don't have no response because I'm just thinking, I do go through court with their dad. I do. But I don't tell you everything because I feel like she's the type of person that literally digests and takes too much of someone else's problem and makes it her own and magnifies it. And I feel like at the point, I don't have to tell you everything that I do, right? So when she said that to me, I was just kind of like, I'm not even going to respond in that manner to you because I feel like I'm not going to magnify what you're going through. I'm going to let you sit in your emotions and I'm going to let you deal with that. So that's when she dropped her earring. I didn't see the earring until I was vacuuming up my car maybe a week later. It fell under my seat. So I called her and I told her I had it. At that time, we were still talking. So when she texted me and said, I'd like to get that earring from you, I'm like, is she really reaching out to me about this earring that that's tarnished, that is a beauty supply store earring. Like, I'm so confused. Like, so I said, Lord, I don't know how to respond to her, because I feel like she was trying to check my temperature, because there is no way that I would ever reach out to anyone about an earring from the beauty supply store and ask them, can I get it back? Yes, I'm being petty right now, because there's no way, because that's embarrassment. So I said, hello. After some time, I had to pray on it. I said, once I get situated, once I locate, I'll let you know, you can come get it. And she was like, no, I'd rather for you to give it to me when you're in the area. So this was my moment. I responded and I said, hey, would you like to have a conversation or a discussion? And she replies back and says, why would I need to have a conversation with you? I don't feel comfortable. And I said, because this is weird. And she says, you're giving messy energy. And I'm like, I'm giving you messy energy because you reached out to me and I asked you, would you like to have a conversation? You literally took a dig at me. And I'm woman enough to ask you. This when people get keyboard courage, and I ain't got time for that. I just don't. So she was like, you are so controlling. And the only thing you're dedicated to is your job. I said, I'm controlling. And she was like, yeah, she said, you're not a true friend. I'm controlling because I asked you to pick up your child at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday because I had something to do. I offered to watch her overnight because you too excited to get your hot pocket twisted. 8 o'clock is not a good enough time for you to pick up your child. And that's the truth, because I ain't got time for it. I'm telling the truth and I don't care. Like it or not, I really don't care. So I'm just like, oh, okay. You know, she was text all this keyboard stuff. And I said to her, I said, because I had to pray because I was standing in Walmart. And I said, you know what? I was so at peace with everything. I was like, I'm not even about to do this. I asked her if she wanted to have a conversation. I asked her if she wanted to talk. There are things that she does that I don't agree with, and there are things that I do that she may not agree with. But what you're not going to do is you're not going to attack me. And to tell me the only thing I'm dedicated to is my job when you know I work so hard. You was just praising me like every other day about how good of a person I am, but then you feel a certain type of way being that because you said I'm messy and controlling because I didn't pick up your daughter because I told you to pick up your daughter at 8 o'clock in the morning. But at the end of the day, there was no set plans. You never confirmed. Your last response to that was, oh, that's too early for me to come get her. No, I can't help you. So she was talking all that noise. And I said, you know what? I wish you nothing but unlimited blessings. I do. I hope everything works out for you. And I'm so happy that you told me how you felt about me. I really am. And she was like, please enjoy your weekend because I know I'm going to. And I'm just thinking, I don't need to know about what you're doing with your weekend. Like, unhappy people do stuff all the time to other people. And it's just like, yes, people are going through it. We're all going through it. But that does not give you a place to attack. Not at all. And I'm not going to allow anybody to attack me. Like, at all. Period. So I feel like my prayer in the midst of all that was that I needed clarity on where I was going. That whole situation to me was exhausting. I live a more calmer, peaceful type of life. And someone had said something. I think I heard it from TikTok or something. I don't know who is the actual author of the quote, but it says that you will never be criticized by someone who was doing more than you. You will only be criticized by someone who was doing less. With that being said, I took heed of everything that she said, how she felt about me. And usually I would kind of want to know, why do you feel it? But at my big age, almost being 40 years old, I could care less. I could care less. I'm a very genuine person. I help people where I can. I support people where I can. I'm not interested in being around people who despise me but want to be around me. I feel like I'm really equipped to hang around people from all walks of life, but at the end of the day, respect needs to go both ways. If you can't sit and have a conversation with me about things that are bothering you, and then you just start off, trying to assassinate my character, we can't be friends. We can't be friends. So y'all be forgetting that the camera over here, but I just feel like at the end of the day, I just pray for her. I really do pray for her, and I hope and pray that she gets to a point in her life where she finds peace. I hope she gets to a point in her life where she finds happiness. I hope that she gets to a point to where she feels like she has a good balance. I feel like we as people, just in general, as human beings, need to have priorities. We need a balance, and we can't always just do whatever all the time. I feel like a lot of people, including myself, need schedules. I don't function well if I don't have a schedule. I'm an organized person. It really does not help me in a sense if I don't have organization. I feel like this organization is chaotic and hectic, and I can't operate like that. And I'm willing to agree to disagree, but I do not want anyone like that in my circle at all, period, point blank. Again, at the end of the day, as a parent, if something doesn't work out, if somebody can't watch your child for however many hours you want them to watch, then you need to seek other, or you can't go. It's been a lot of times where when I wanted to go do something and I said, you know what, it's not working with my schedule, or I went and came back when the person asked me to, and I came back a little bit earlier too, just because I like to respect people's time. So with that being said, I ain't got time for this. I don't have time for this. And I feel like, hopefully one day the girl will find peace, because it ain't over here. It's not over here. It's not over here. And for someone to have so much venom to throw at me through a keyboard, through text message, girl, bye. And I'm saying that with grace, like, girl, bye. And I feel like the lion in me was like, I'm not even about to roar at this. I'm about to sit back and be like, okay, cool. You know what I mean? Like, it's fine. It's fine. Like, I at first wasn't going to talk about this, but I feel like this topic is so important because people in general complain, especially, I guess, my generation, complain about not having a village. Like, we're just, I guess, our parents were able to drop us off as children to their parents' house and going about their business. And some of us didn't see our parents for a couple of days. That was just the norm back then, because they was working, they went on a trip. It's a new day and age. Yes, there are a lot of grandparents out here that don't have the time or the patience to watch their grandchildren. It's a lot of people complaining. But at the end of the day, if someone is helping you, I think you should take the help where you can get it from. And not saying she has every right to not take my help. She doesn't have to take my help. And I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine with that. And I feel like that this was a sign for me to be very careful who I have in my personal space. Because when I sat there and reflected about just our relationship, and I was just like, Jesus, this person is getting into it with everybody, from the therapist to the teacher. Like, I was just like, and I'm just like, oh, it's a lot. But I'm just like, all the other stuff is just petty stuff. But I feel like I like to say, hey, can we talk about it or not? If you want to talk about it, okay, fine. But I don't do confrontation with other people. I just don't. I say what I need to say, I get a handle, and I'm done with it. I'm not going to sit there and go off on people, or I'm not doing that. I'm just, for what? Why raise my blood pressure off of something that it don't take all that? And that's why I feel like a lot of people are not aware of how to communicate with other people. A lot of people are just so, if it's not my way, then I don't, it's not my way, then it's like, how things don't always go your way. That's part of life. But yeah. But my beliefs may not be your beliefs, and your beliefs may not be my beliefs. Yeah. This is Thoughts of a Single Mother. I take my breaks when needed. And on top of that, y'all, I prefer to do things while my children are at daycare. Go out, go see a movie, go do this or go do that. Because I like to be with my children, doing the nighttime routines. That's what I like. But that's not what everybody else likes to do. So I think I said I was ending this video a long time ago. If I didn't, oh well. But yeah. Take the help where you can get it. If you don't like it, then move along. But don't assassinate people's characters. All right, y'all. For real. I'm out. Bye.